Park School of Communications at Ithaca College. Yay! Yes! Thank you. That's lovely. It is my pleasure to welcome you tonight to the awards ceremony of the first annual Izzy Award, presented by the Park Center for Independent Media, in honor of our country's most exceptional and significant independent journalists. I just want to take a few minutes to offer a few words of thanks to the people who made this special event possible. First, as is so often the case here in Ithaca, and certainly in the most important and valuable events of the Park School, I want to thank the Park Foundation for its continued support of our programs and of our commitment to authentic journalism that speaks truth to power, the way tonight's awards recipients do. In particular, I'd also like to acknowledge the unflagging generosity, brilliant support of Adelaide Park Gomer, who represents me and Jack. Always open. Adelaide represents for me genuinely the highest ideals of truth-telling in the name of the public good. I'd also like to thank Jeff Cohen, who is the director of the Park Center for Independent Media. Jeff's energy, his vision, and his commitment to journalism prompted him to establish the Izzy Awards. As you may know, Jeff has been the director of the Independent Media Center for less than a year. How's that for results, huh? And already he has brought his own brand of passion, talent, and journalistic productivity, literally, to the project, putting it on the national map in important and influential ways. Please join me in thanking Jeff for transforming the Izzy Awards from a brilliant idea into tonight's special event, and for his tireless work in the name of free and unfettered American media.
Everybody's heard of the Oscars and the Emmys. Get ready for the Izzies. This warm crowd shows that we live in a community that really treasures independent journalists and independent media. You know, there'd be no Park Center for Independent Media, no Izzy Awards, along with the Park Foundation, if not for the vision of our Dean, Diane Lynch. Let's hear it for her. Month after month, we're bringing the movers and shakers in independent media to our community, and our goal is to send Ithaca College students and graduates into successful, creative, entrepreneurial careers in independent media. One of our country's, many of you know me as having started the Media Watch Group Fair nearly 25 years ago. So I was a critic of mainstream media, but I've got to tell you, it's just so much more fun to be honoring quality, independent journalists rather than bashing the cronyism and corporatism in mainstream media. You get a bounce in your step, when you're recognizing what's new and vital in independent journalism, and instead of bashing and bemoaning what's bad and what's decaying in the media. One of our country's most enduring independent media outlets, The Nation magazine, was the Washington editor in the 1940s was I.F. Stone. And during the Bush years, as the Nation's circulation had climbed, the joke at The Nation was, Bush is bad for the country, but he's great for the nation. And I have that same mixed emotion when I look at the horrible crisis inside corporate mainstream media, brought on by the internet and new technologies, brought on by economic recession, brought brought on by corporate greed and conglomeration. But that crisis has been great for independent media. Many outlets are expanding. A number of them are actually hiring journalists while the mainstream lays them off. We're not going through lengthy biographies. We've put essential information in your printed handout. Hold on to your inaugural Izzy Award program. One day it'll be a collector's item. You could say, if I could borrow a phrase from Sarah Palin one day, I put it on eBay. Now, I know you have friends and relatives, I've heard, that could not be here tonight but wanted to be here tonight. There's a lot of conflicts in our community with other events. This will be broadcast on WEOS, a Democracy Now! Station. It originates in Geneva. We hear it in Ithaca at 88.1. If you want details, weos.org. I want to mention two local groups that have done so much to bring Democracy Now! To our community. One of them is Ithaca Community Radio. And the other group is Friends of Democracy Now!, which puts it on public access, Channel 13. And they are here tonight. They're looking for your support and your volunteer energy and your donations. We're here to honor two of the real luminaries in independent media, Amy Goodman and Glenn Greenwald. And they are the stars today. We're going to hear their full speeches. Afterwards, we're going to have plenty of time for mingling amongst ourselves, mingling with the award winners, getting books signed. Amy, as you know, is on a book tour behind the paperback edition of Standing Up to the Madness, which had its official release today, and that book will be in this auditorium as soon as we're over. My fellow judges on this award were the San Francisco-based journalist Linda Jew. She heads the G.W. Williams Center for Independent Journalism, and also Robert W. McChesney. He's the communications professor at University of Illinois and the co-founder of the media reform group Free Press. Our decision-making process was very difficult. You know, there were just too many candidates, and that's a good news. It shows that there's so much quality, independent journalism being produced outside of corporate, traditional media structures, and that's the purview of our award. As judges, we steeped ourselves in the life and legacy of I.F. Stone, his bravery, his independence, his entrepreneurial spirit. And there were two nominees that just jumped out at us. As the judges were talking to each other, we were talking about the Izziness of each candidate, and the essential Izziness of Amy and Glenn just jumped out at us. They almost seemed to be Izzy, the next generation 3.0. Before I turn over the stage to and the rest of the program to our award winners, I want to bring up quickly a special guest. He's the president of Catalytic Diplomacy. He's been a lifelong advocate for arms control and international diplomacy and peace, human rights, the environment, as the head of the Federation of American Scientists for 30 years, from 1970 to the year 2000. Because of his advocacy in the early 1970s, he found his name on the official Richard Nixon enemies list compiled by the White House. Today he supervises the wonderful official website, ifstone.org, and besides all that, he's the elder son of Esther and Izzy Stone. Let's welcome Jeremy Stone.